Welcome back, everybody, to another episode of Teak and Mead. This one's
A little unique.
It's
So when we went up to Leaky Roof, so I guess this is like their 2.5.
Yeah.
They also not only do they serve
mead.
a lot of mead.
Yeah, they have some beers on tap. They work in conjunction with
Blue Mound.
Blue Mound Brewing Company, and so what Leaky Roof does is they'll serve some of Blue Mound's beer at the meadery, and then if you go to Blue Mound, they'll serve some of Leaky Roof's mead at the brewery. So I mean, they kind of work hand in hand. They brew together. Either mead inspired beers
or the IPA thing.
Or IPA inspired meads. I got to try one there that was really, really good. I didn't think it had a lot of an IPA flavor, but when I talked to what did you say his name was? Todd.
Yeah.
Todd. I asked him, does it drink or have like a mouthfeel or a finish like an IPA or a mead? And what he told me was that it's kind of its own thing. I don't think this is that one that I have here today.
No, it's not.
But if you get a chance to go, definitely try their IPM. It is the IPA inspired mead. What this one is their Braggot is the Braggot from Blue Mound. Comes in at 12%.
That's the date it was bottled.
It was canned in early August, so about a month ago. And it's so it's a full-size can. They just kind of slapped the label on it. This was also one of the little something extras that
we got hooked up
with when we went.
And we thank you guys again for that.
Yeah, very much so.
It definitely helps us out. Anytime we get a little kickback. It sounds horrible, but I'm not gonna lie. It made us smile when we opened the box up and went, "Oh,
yeah,
ooh.
Imagine that."
But we wanted to give a little shout out to Blue Mound since they
were there that night.
They were there that
we
night.
went and
well, they also did. And Becca was talking about this. They did. How'd they call it? The mixing.
That was just for fun.
They were mixing some of their beers with
the sour mix stuff.
Yeah.
The
puree and stuff like
really,
that.
really good.
It smelled good.
Yeah, he said he uses the sour mix or the sour cherry base one for a lot of his stuff, and it's really, really good. But anyway, sorry, I also have a horn of mead from earlier.
As you can tell from the tips right there, we just got done doing the Leaky Roof and then made the realization. But
yeah, so this one's their Braggot. I don't really have any information on this one because I didn't take a picture of the other side of the menu for their tasting stuff.
Well, and you can find Blue Mound Brewing Company on Facebook. They have a lot of the Leaky Roof information on there as well. So, but
so before I kind of really got into mead, I've only been really drinking mead for a couple of years now.
Since you started crashing on my couch.
Yeah. Since I started bumming on your couch all those years ago.
Yeah.
I used to be a really big beer drinker. But even then, I didn't really start getting into different styles and different flavors of beer until actually we lived in California. I worked at an Irish pub for a while, and our bartender Jason would, he'd always have craft brews and stuff like that coming all the time.
Right.
And after a while, I'd just start asking him, did we get anything new this week? Or no, not this week. Or I've got this thing coming. Or I've got this today. If you want to try it, whatever. And So I got introduced to a lot of different things. I got introduced to IPAs, which I used to hate because it was too hoppy for me. But as I started drinking more and more, and some IPAs are not as harsh and bitter as others. Got introduced to IPAs, got introduced to stouts, and other darker beers. I've always been a big dark beer drinker. So it's one of those things that I have enjoyed. I like to try new craft brews and things like that. A couple years ago, when I took leave to go to Tennessee when I went to go see Tucker a couple years ago. We were both at the clinic. I took leave.
Yeah,
it was around
I
like
remember.
Christmas time or something like that.
Yeah, I remember. I had to approve it.
Yeah, and I went up there, and one of the places we went to, I don't remember what it's called, but there's this, it's like a sports bar kind of thing you can go to, but they serve local craft beers that are made like around Maryville, where he lives, and they were very, very good. So,
well, and that's a big thing with kind of what we started doing this for was these are not huge names. You know, they're not.
Right.
I'm not going to say the names because copyright BS. But Budweiser and Menace and those. You know, these are people that are pouring their heart and soul into every can they make, every bottle they make, and if one of y'all happen to go to Buffalo and Missouri and give it a try, it can help them out. It helps small business, which
for sure.
Sorry, I had to get my plug.
No,
in.
you're good. You know, and it's just when we were there, they have 4 on tap that are actually beers, and then they have the IPA inspired mead, which is also very good.
Smelled amazing.
Oh yeah, dude, it was so good.
Next time,
It's super smooth.
Next time, let's take an EpiPen. I want some of that.
Yeah. All right. All right.
Becca's rolling her eyes at us.
But they've got the dark ones. You know, your stouts are usually based off of either chocolate or coffee. Most commonly is coffee, and like dark chocolate cacao or something like that. Like the Rogue Brewing Company out of I think they're out of California. They make one that's it's called the Medusa, and I love that one. It's so good. It's like 9.5%. It's a stout, and the flavor profile behind it is coffee, cacao nibs, cinnamon, and like toasted coconut. It's so good.
Sounds like a s'mores.
Basically, yeah. It's really, really good.
Nice. Well, let's see.
Anyway, let's get into this one. So this one's the Braggot. Again, I don't really have any kind of information on it, but as you can see, it pours like what you would expect from a typical beer. Nice bit of head there.
Sniff on it.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah. So I mean, it's nice and dark. If you're into the dark ambers or just your dark beers in general. Smell wise, it reminds me a lot of like some of the meads we've had. It's got a little bit of that fruity kind of smell to it.
Yeah, I got a little bit of that hint with a very potent, dark, heavy beer sort of smell as well. Verdict? More of a verdict?
Well, usually I just drink them.
Yeah. Well, this is a little outside of what we normally do.
Yeah.
Because we even when we expanded to ciders, that was a big deal for us. And But
Yeah. So you got to remember beers are a little more complex when it comes to some of their flavors.
right.
I mean, it's pretty simplistic. With beers that are, where you have different things coming in, like you're trying to get different flavors and stuff. It's a little more complex because you have different yeasts, you have different hops, you have different strains of grain that goes into it.
Right, and we even learned just with honey
there's a lot.
that
Even just with honey, you can have different flavors between what kind of blossom or what the source is.
Oh yeah, well, but I can guarantee grains are the same way. You get a hop coming in from northern Missouri is going to taste different from something coming in from Arkansas. It's going to, because of the ground it's grown in, just like jalapenos, just like with honey, with a lot of things.
Yeah.
So I'm just
So
here for comic relief.
To me, and I think to everyone who enjoys dark beers and things like that, I think a lot of the flavor kind of just depends on the person. To me, it tastes like your typical stout that has like that kind of sharp coffee, like dark undertone.
Mm-hmm.
It's very noticeable for that. But there's also it's a fruit flavor, and what I think it is, if I remember right, looking at the menu, it's not grape. I'm pretty sure it's that tart cherry juice that he used, and it's that part is pretty much at the forefront. You get that, but it's not cherry in the sense of what most people think it is. It's not that artificial stuff. It doesn't taste like the artificial cherry.
Yeah.
It tastes like when we made your mead that had the tart cherry juice. If you had just tasted that, it's that, and then it rolls into like this coffee flavor behind it.
Okay.
But
I can envision that.
Yeah, and it's because it's a darker one. Darker ones tend to sit a little heavier. Yeah, I don't really have a good way to describe. This is the first time we've done this to describe a beer.
Prototype.
Yeah. Man. But yeah, I mean, you kind of get that tart cherry, and it rolls into that coffee flavor. It's very heavy. It coats the tongue, in the entirety of your mouth very well. It's very well made. It's very well crafted. It's absolutely delicious. I could kill a 6-pack of this over the course of probably an afternoon, just without even realizing it, and be content. It's one that if I went on a fishing trip,
Okay. Or like post hunting.
But more specifically, like sitting on the bank of a river, fishing. Every once in a while you go and you crack a beer.
Yeah.
This is one that I could see myself just kind of sitting there and just kind of pull one out of the cooler, have it sitting on the side while I'm just throwing a line.
Yeah. Okay. So final thoughts. I mean, this is all.
That's
thoughts?
kind of my final thought. I mean, it's very good. It's very drinkable. It does sit on the heavier side. If what you're used to drinking is lighter beers, it's one that will sit heavier. But if you're into the dark beers or the heavier beers and beer styles, it's very good. I would definitely recommend checking them out. They are. You can get it at the Leaky Roof Meadery in Buffalo, Missouri, or you could go to Blue Mound and get it there too. Either one is definitely an option. I'm interested to see what else they come up with, because I've only had a small amount of what Blue Mound really has to offer. So I think we'll be making a trip up to both the meadery and the brewery sometime in the maybe not in the near future, but sometime in the future.
Yeah. But alrighty.
Well, I guess that kind of brings everything to a close for this one. So I guess as always, be great to one another.
Drink responsibly.
Skull.
Skull. I guess we're gonna have to add that to our business model.
Yeah.
Oh.